like back on April 3rd, you were the first person to break the news that the A's were going to move to Sacramento temporarily. And now that more than 2 months have passed and emotions have kind of settled, where do you kind of sit on this move now? I mean, I saw your column for the B and you explained yourself, but right now here on July 10th, how do you feel about the A's going to Sacramento next year?
The same.
Yeah.
The top line is I want the A's to stay in Oakland. But I also understand that I want to dunk a basketball after doing a 360 flip, and maybe that's not possible. I'm realistic, but I believe the A's belong in Oakland, just like I believe the Sacramento Kings belonged in Sacramento 10 years ago when we were all a part of that movement to keep the team there. Um, that being said, there's some misconceptions. Like I'm not a fan of this process. I'm not a fan of John Fisher using Sacramento. I'm not a fan of John Fisher, and I do think this thing is destined to fail. At the same time, one thing that I want to make clear is that a lot of the people that are working on this with the Kings, I love them, and I understand where their heads are at. They're thinking the Kings are gone, or excuse me, the A's are gone. They're leaving Oakland, and this is better than Salt Lake or Vegas. And if they're going to leave, it's better to have them an hour. Yeah, like I understand at least that thought process, and that is not an evil thought to me. That's a proactive thought. I get it, but for me, the way we were able to stop the Maloofs from relocating the Kings, if you will, is it was like a rat in a maze. And every time they tried to find an escape, whether it was Anaheim, Vegas, Virginia Beach, that was shut down until eventually they threw their hands up and sold the team. I'd like to see John Fisher treated with that same strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that that's my main frustration with the people at the Kings is that they threw him a line, you know. He's I don't know if he's going to get it done, but it feels it felt bad. It felt rough to be like somebody's, and he's not being the Kings are not obviously, getting him to Las Vegas, but they threw him a line in a place where he was getting into a really tough corner. And yeah, it's a bummer, but
Yeah. I mean, for me, I mean, I just feel like it's all about the TV deal, they're just gonna hold on to that money. But Dave, have you talked to like Vivek at all like this has gone down? And because I read your column in the B and everything, you kind of explained yourself. Have you explained yourself to him or just kind of had a conversation with him about, his thought process behind this whole move?
No, frankly, no. And
Yeah.
that's not unusual, by the way. We don't talk every day, but we talk a few times a year. And
Yeah.
I think it's one of those, I don't even want to say agree to disagree, because I again, it gets really complicated. Here's what I do know. I know that I am obsessed with the city of Sacramento. I'm a native of Sacramento, and I ride or die for Sacramento. I also know that Vivek, since he bought the Kings, has done nothing but good things for the city of Sacramento. The team, quite frankly, wouldn't be here without him and his ownership group. Wouldn't have Golden One Center. And unlike the Bay Area, and I know saying this to Oakland fans sounds weird because the Bay Area is vast, but there's just not a lot of people that want to invest in Sacramento. And I know that Oakland's feeling a lot of that too, and a lot of really unfair stereotypes and narratives are going out there. So we haven't talked, but I also don't know that there's much to say, because I think we both want the same thing, which is to better the city of Sacramento. I just think that we have different ideas. And guess what? He's the billionaire with all the power and connections, and I'm the goofy radio guy. But I do want Major League Baseball in Sacramento. And if I knew for a fact, like if basketball Jesus visited me in a dream and said, the A's are not staying in Oakland, there's no chance, it's not happening. So your choice is they can go to Salt Lake City, Las Vegas, or Sacramento. I would say Sacramento, but with a caveat, because I would fully understand that it's almost like you know, your buddy's getting a divorce and you're like, well, she's going to shack up with somebody. It might as well be me. That's a
Yeah.
tough
Yeah.
conversation to have. I'm aware of that, but I
Yeah.
also understand that there are Oakland fans, much like a lot of the 916 and 209 makes up a huge part of the season ticket base for Oakland. It would
Absolutely.
just be unfortunate that would have to switch. But guys, and I'm rambling because I'm a radio guy, there's a lot of other issues here, like playing on turf, sharing a stadium and facilities with a minor league team. There's a lot of other things going on here to where I'm not entirely positive this thing's even going to happen.
Really? So
And
even
we should talk about that. But I do want to say, and I think I've said this before, is if it comes with selling, John Fisher not being there anymore, and if it comes with Dave Kaval not being there anymore, if the A's are permanently in Sacramento and John Fisher's forced to sell, it's a loss. It's certainly a loss for the city of Oakland.
Sure.
I think that it is a, it is a hard fought draw slash, a 60% win, 40% loss for Oakland A's fans. I
Sure.
think I think if they stay in Sacramento with new ownership and with that name, I would encourage, all A's fans, and I know not all will, but I think a lot will. I would encourage all A's fans to, buy an Amtrak pass, and go there, go there just as often as they went to the Coliseum.